What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode here at F-Line Garage, where I'm working on the C4. I finally got on the lift. I still don't have power, but if you see here, I am running a generator to more or less hot wire it. So still safe. Just got to run the generator to run it up and down, but no big deal. I got so much to do. I got new rack and pinion. I got new bushings. I got new ball joints. I got new hubs. I got new brake booster. I got new master cylinder. I got new sway bar, bushings. I got new U-joints. I think there's a few more things, but we got a lot to do. Here, follow me. As we come back here, I pretty much laid it all out here. I still have a few more things coming. These are my U-joints. These are my hub bearings, sway bars, tie rods. No, these are tie rods. These are lower ball joints, upper ball joints, all new rack and pinion, all new power steering stuff. Here's my new rack. As you can see, I have it down here because it's leaking here. And so I want it all here. Now, my brakes failed on me driving over here. The pedal went to the floor. So I am getting all new brake master cylinder, brake booster. New tie rods. So all of this is coming out. If we come back here to the U-joints, hear that? They're bad. So I got to pull these out here. Okay, here, and here. They're all bad. So that'll be coming out, and then I'm going to be doing a coolant flush because it looked like garbage, so we're going to drain out of the radiator. Power steering, brake fluid, because those look like trash too. I moved part of my toolbox over here and just set up all my stuff here to start laying it out as I take things off and then put it back on. So let's start by taking off the wheels. That's the easy part. I mean, how hard can this be, right? All right, so the wheels are off. Since the car is already lowered, I am going to use this time to drill out the upper ball joints here. So what we're going to do here is take a punch, and these are riveted in. So I'm going to punch this, drill them out, and then you can start separating all these out, okay? So that's going to be how we do the top one. Here we just undo this. If you watch this other video, you'll see how I lowered the car and did the shocks. Is we just take this out, separate it out like no big deal. Same's going to go for the bottom. That one we're going to have to use a press to get it in and out. And same with these here, we're going to use a press. Now I bought a press, if you see over there, I bought a 20-ton press from Harbor Freight. So I am going to be using that. But right now, we just got to separate these out so that the new ones that we got are going to be screwed in now with screws instead of rivets. Let's see if I can do this one-handed here. All right, so oh yeah, here it is. So you can see the holes that we're going to have to that are going to be drilled out, and then here are all the screws on the backside, right in there. So easy peasy. Let's get going. All right, finally got to use the 20-ton press. I got the cup. I did buy the adaptation kit, but the big cup on the bottom, let's see, can you guys see that? This big cup on the bottom is what the ball joint just got pressed into, and this just pushed it down. So this one's a lot smaller to push it through, and now we're loose. So that's super cool. Just going to relieve the pressure and probably clean this up before I slide in the new one. All right, so the one with the nub on the right goes to the passenger side. The one with the nub on the left goes towards the driver's side. The nub is always going to be on the forward facing side of the car. So this is the front of the car. This is the front of the car. This is the bushings time. And so I got the Maddox press over here, the 20-ton press here. The issue that we're running into is with the lower control arms. These came out fine and you can press them in just fine. The issue comes with this is to be able to push this from the inside out, you don't have much clearance. That C-clamp takes up this whole inside. So I'm using a washer, you see there, to put it here to then press it out into a cup. It's not easy. Going in will be much easier because I can put this on the press like this and press in the new ones. When I do it the other way, pressing from the inside out, there's nowhere for this top piece to go. It hits the jack, so, or the pump, whatever you wanted to call it. So we're just doing it this way, and it's just takes some ingenuity to figure it out, but I know you guys can do it. Or you can just burn them out, but I like to just try to press it out. This is the setup I was talking about with the washers, just to create enough pressure, because if you don't have this, the pressure or the press goes in there into the rubber and gets stuck. Been there, done that, not going to do it again. So all I do is take my 22 millimeter wrench and I will turn this to engage pressure, and the bushing will slide out into this cup. And then you do it, repeat it on the side. Pressing it in is going to go a lot easier. Now that the bushings are out, I got my new bushings back here. I'm using Super Lube for these, and I will leave the link to the description of all of this down below. And I just need to press both those in, and then I'm going to press the bushing through the middle of the metal grommet. So both of those are all going to go in. I'm going to lube up all sides of this and then just start pressing them in. Let's get started. How hard can it be? All right, so we know the U-bolts, U-joints are bad. We know this one's bad, this one. I would imagine that they are original. So I believe, see this bolt and that one. There's one over here too. And then two over here. If you're not able to get to it, put the car in neutral and then just rotate these, okay? But I believe, I wanna say it's 5/16. And then you just undo this, and then all this should be able to be dropped out. And then we got to use the press again to press out these bearings. So let me work on getting these off so that we can remove this half shaft. All right, where are we at? Well, I got the lower, or the tie rods off, the lower ball joints, took the shock, unbolted that. So now it's just hanging by the upper control arm. I did the same to the passenger side over here, and I took the leaf out because it was slightly shifted and the U's that hold it in were slightly off, and I did not like that. So what I'm working on now is just kind of taking off a bunch of stuff. So here are the lower control arms, driver side, passenger side with the bolts. Those are the U's I was just talking about. The leaf spring. Here's my new rack and pinion. The old one is clearly still in the car, and here is my sway bar. I took that off. It gives me a lot more room for the rack and pinion, but I also have new bushings that I'm going to put on as well. To get that off, I just unbolted this little bracket here, and it slid out. You can do one or the other. So now I just got to go through all of this, find this, and put these on that. I'm going to keep it out of the car so that until I can get that back in, it's not in the way. What I'm struggling with now is this rack has this bolt here, but as I go to unloosen this, there's a bolt back behind here that there is just no way, and it's closed, so you can't like reach up back here to grab it. So I'm not quite sure yet how to get this bolt right here for the head of it from turning when I try to loosen this to take out the rack. It also has these. Those should be easy, but there is one on the back side. Again, how you get back up in here, I'm not quite sure. I may have to lower the car and come in from up top, but that's where I'm at right now. And I didn't really video taking off any of this because this was in the video of me lowering the car. So don't go watch that video if you need help getting there. You can see here, where is it? The boot is ripped there. It's also pretty ripped here. So we're gonna go clean up all this and press out these bushings, bearings, whatever they're called. All right, so this bolt that I can't get out, well, let's start over here. This one here was 13 mil. Inside this little hoop is a nut and a bolt. So you kind of have to get a ratchet and an open end in here. And I just bent it up because I don't want to have to try to get that one out over here. Now for this bolt on the driver's side, I found, if you go back here, it's that bolt right in view right there. So what I'm gonna do is come from back here with a swivel and really long extensions to be able to hold it while I then crank on the other side. It might be easier with two people, but I don't have that luxury right now. So just getting at it from right here. There it is. I think is how I'm going to tackle this one. And you can see it's just leaking. It's already leaking on the ground. So it's really good. And you can just see all this garbage. So it's good I'm cleaning this up. All right, so those two bolts that I wasn't able to get out before, found out that the key to this is getting crow's feet wrenches. And you can get down there and rotate them just enough to unscrew them. It's gonna be terrible to get them back in, but this is what we have to do to get them out first. Getting this rack out was not the easiest at all, between sledgehammers, pry bars, and having to remove those because they kept getting caught on the frame. So all these other YouTube channels that I've been watching where they just take it out and push it out and rotate, I did not have that luxury. I don't know if it's because I have an 88 and not an early C4, or I don't know. But you can tell the difference between how gunked up this is versus this one. There is a slight change. That is concave, that's convex, that bolt. They did send me a inline filter, but what I'm hoping to do is now get this back in. What ended up happening was we had to pry it out of here, move it up, rotate it this way, and then it came out the driver's side. The problem is the steering shaft that comes down would not allow it to come off this. So we had to unbolt the steering shaft to be able to pull this off because this was getting caught and was not allowing it to be pulled out. So after removing the steering shaft a little bit there, we were able to free this up. But again, this was not easy. It took sledgehammers and everything else to bang on the end to push it through. But hopefully going in is going to be easier. I'm not sure how, but let's get started. The power steering rack went in way easier than it came out, and it's all back together. The reservoir, and I replaced every single power steering line here. They even sent me a filter, which is great. So the rack and pinion is back together. The lower control arms, if you guys watch this video, you'll see that I'm redoing all the bushings. We got to drill these out to get these out. So I got the uppers next, but the lower control arm is back in, the control arm, and I got the sway bar. But getting the sway bar out and the leaf spring actually did not help with getting access to anything. So I don't recommend actually having to do this. I went one step further, and plus I was doing bushings anyway. But this is not an easy task. Crow's feet to get down here were definitely the key to getting it out. And yeah, using lots of hammers and everything else to hit it one way or another to get it out of that carriage right there. So just have patience. It definitely helps with two people, but it's definitely doable. It's just not a fun task. I hope you guys like and subscribe. Watch the rest of these videos as I do the control arms, the front suspension. Next up is also brake booster and master cylinder. There's a lot that I'm doing to this car to get it roadworthy. So fuel sending unit back there, all the good stuff. But I appreciate all the support. Let's keep it going. I'll catch you guys next time.